Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors are showing interest in bringing back point guard Donte DiVincenzo. If that happens, it would be an excellent signing. The Golden State Warriors could make a perfect trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves this year. Warriors should try to bring back Donte DiVincenzo. The Warriors saw Buddy Hield begin the 2024-25 campaign with strength before calling the season, averaging in the ballpark of 11 points per game. As one of the best three-point shooters in the league, the Oklahoma product carries value in the trade market. Thus, the Warriors should call the Timberwolves to swap him for Donte DiVincenzo. Donte DiVincenzo could better for the Warriors in second stint. In 2024-25, DiVincenzo made 2.8 three-pointers per game. The Villanova product also dished 3.6 assists every matchup. Following the highlight of his tenure, where he averaged 15.5 points on 40.1% shooting from three for the New York Knicks, DiVincenzo would be the player to bring in again. The 7-year veteran played for Golden State in 2022-23. DiVincenzo knows the Warriors' scheme. His movement along the arc can be of use to them in a primary role. The money makes sense for both teams. The former champion will make nearly $12 million or more in 2025-26 as well as 2026-27. Hield will bring home an average of $9.6 million into the 2027-28 campaign. Thus, Golden State can win with a deal like this. Trio of former Sixers expected to join Warriors once RFA deal settled. The Philadelphia 76ers are not the only team dealing with a current restricted free agent situation. While they await what's going to happen with Quentin Grimes, the Golden State Warriors are dealing with their own RFA situation with Jonathan Kuminga. Due to what's going on with Kuminga, it has held up everything when it comes to Golden State's roster building. The Warriors currently have 6 roster spots open. One will eventually go to Kuminga once his situation is resolved, but they have to figure out the rest of the roster. Per insider Mark Stein via his Substack, the Warriors reportedly have their eyes on a trio of former Sixers, Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and now Seth Curry. Per Stein, Warriors veterans are expected to convene for a mini-camp of their own later this week before Golden State's training camp officially opens September 30th. That knowledge inevitably makes you wonder how many of the familiar names Golden State has been expected for the past several weeks to sign once the Kuminga situation is resolved. Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and Gary Payton too, will participate in that gathering if they haven't officially signed with the Warriors yet. None of those players can sign, remember, until after Kuminga does. There is a strong expectation league-wide now that the Warriors will also be signing Seth Curry in addition to the Horford-Melton-Payton trio. Golden State currently has 6 roster spots open. It's believed they will be filled by Horford, Melton, Payton, Stephen Curry's younger brother Seth, second-round pick Will Richard and, of course, Kuminga. Curry was a key piece of the Sixers earning the number 1 seed in the East in the 2020-21 season as his elite shooting made life easy for Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons at the time. He was then sent to the Brooklyn Nets at the 2022 deadline, along with Simmons, in the James Harden deal. Horford, of course, spent one tumultuous season in Philadelphia in 2019-20 and Melton spent 2 seasons with the Sixers. He was with the Warriors to begin the 2024-25 season before being sent to the Nets after he tore his ACL in his left knee. Warriors owner refused to include Jonathan Kuminga in blockbuster trade. The ongoing negotiations between the Golden State Warriors and restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga have yet to reach a conclusion. More news: 76ers Joel Embiid undergoes shocking body transformation. Warriors owner Joe Lacob reportedly posed the question, "Do you want to be here?" to the Forward, per ESPN's Anthony Slater and Shams Charania. Kuminga replied, "Do you even want me here?" While it remains uncertain what the Warriors' plans are for Kuminga for the 2025-26 season, there was once a time Lacob was adamant the forward remain with Golden State. Lacob has remained a staunch Kuminga supporter and vocal believer in his long-term future, Slater and Charania wrote. He voiced an unwillingness to include Kuminga in a proposed trade from Chicago for Alex Caruso a couple of seasons back, sources said, and was still glowing about Kuminga's performance in May after he rose from out of Steve Kerr's first-round rotation to the team's leading scorer in the second-round loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Warriors' latest reported offer to the forward is a 3-year, $72.5 million deal with a team option for the third year. Kuminga is willing to accept the offer, under one condition. More news: Angel Reese to skip Chicago Sky exit interviews as trade rumors swirl. The 22-year-old wants Golden State to change the team option to a player option before he signs the deal. Kuminga's agent, Aaron Turner, explained why this is such an important factor in the decision process. The player option to him is super important. JK is clearly the guy that needs to sacrifice here for this to work, Turner said on 95.7 The Game last week. Okay, so that's fine. He's passing up opportunities where they are saying, BJ Armstrong, King's assistant GM, made a strong comment to JK like, "We want you to be you. We don't want you to change a thing. Play your game." He can't do that fully in Golden State. The ongoing confusion on Kuminga's role with the Warriors has been an added layer to the saga, but a decision will have to be made with the October 1st deadline to accept the qualifying offer quickly approaching. There are reports Kuminga wants out of Golden State, but it's also fair to wonder how much the Warriors would use the forward in a bench role next season. Warriors' title hopes terrifyingly hinge on Jonathan Kuminga. As the Golden State Warriors have trudged through this offseason, their single biggest question mark has continually resided in the ongoing restricted free agency of young forward Jonathan Kuminga, and essentially the entirety of their offseason has revolved around their inability to either trade or retain him. Now, however, as Kuminga appears set to return to the Warriors in the coming days, Howard Beck, on the most recent episode of the Ringer NBA show, has made the point that the team's ability to contend this season comes down to their ability to either allow Kuminga to play a bigger role or retrieve sufficient value for him in a trade, a terrifying proposition that has no clear answer at this point. With the way the roster is constructed, and their sheer dependence upon their aging trio of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, Golden State desperately needs another scorer, and that must come either from Kuminga or be retrieved in a Kuminga trade. The Warriors must either trade or utilize Kuminga if they have any chance to compete this season. While there were multiple teams interested in a potential sign-and trade for Kuminga at the start of the offseason, it quickly became clear that none of those teams were going to provide sufficient value in order for these negotiations to seriously heat up. Moreover, given the questionable fit between Kuminga and the team's established stars, Beck, however, argues that the Warriors have no choice. It's not so much about the contract terms, years, dollars. His market value as a player under contract with them, who will be on the trade block the second he's eligible to be traded, has direct impact on whether the Warriors will be able to make themselves a contender again. Kuminga, undoubtedly, could be a versatile and dynamic part of an NBA rotation were he given the proper opportunity. The issue is, as it stands, this opportunity does not exist with Golden State, and Kuminga has made clear that, as a result, he does not necessarily want to be with the organization. Yet, at the same time, teams across the NBA have been handicapped by the new financial landscape, restricting the potential options that the Warriors have to engage in a Kuminga trade. Therefore, almost as soon as the season begins, Golden State must begin assessing the value of Kuminga across the trade market, and, if they cannot find sufficient value immediately, they must set their sights on him becoming a regular part of their rotation. If they fail to accomplish either of these tasks, they will essentially be wasting a dynamic young talent and will be doing a major disservice to their veteran core as their championship window continues to close. Warriors fans finally get heartwarming story after major free agency update. It's been a long, slow and frustrating offseason for Golden State Warriors fans who've had to endure the pain of Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency and the drama that's emanated over recent months. Yet in the gloom and darkness of the Kuminga saga emerges a heartwarming story for fans to cling on to, with the Warriors now strongly expected to sign Seth Curry to join older brother Stephen on what still remains as just a 9-man roster. A reunion between the Curry brothers is about to become reality. The addition of the younger Curry brother to Golden State was floated from early in the offseason, but it never came with the same level of assurity as the likes of Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and more recently the re-signing of veteran guard Gary Payton II. That has changed on Monday though, with NBA insider Mark Stein providing a crucial update on the expected Warrior signings once Kuminga's free agency situation is resolved. There is a strong expectation league-wide now that the Warriors will also be signing Seth Curry in addition to the Horford-Melton-Payton trio. After years of competing against one another, the Curry brothers will now get the opportunity to see the floor together some 12 years after they both suited up for the Warriors during some preseason games in 2013. Seth never appeared in an official game for Golden State despite his time in the Bay Area, having really emerged in the league during 44 games with the Sacramento Kings in the 2014-15 season, followed by 70 games with the Dallas Mavericks in 2015-16. His best year remains in 2021-22 with the Philadelphia 76ers and Brooklyn Nets, having averaged a career-high 15.0 points per game along with 3.1 rebounds and 3.6 assists on 42.2% shooting from three-point range. Whether Curry can work his way into the Warrior rotation during training camp and preseason will now be a fascinating storyline, with the 35-year-old spending the last 2 years largely in the NBA wilderness at the Charlotte Hornets. Despite a reduction in playing time and role at the Hornets last season, Curry still shot a scorching 45.6% from three-point range. He undoubtedly remains one of the best pure shooters in the league, but questions remain on how much Golden State can really use that given the glut of guards on their roster. The Warriors still have Buddy Hield as a similar veteran sharpshooter, which in addition to Melton, Payton and Brandon Podziemski could provide a roadblock to Curry earning consistent minutes. Even still, it's a heartwarming story at a time where Golden State fans could do with some feel-good news. Golden State shores up roster with veterans amid Kuminga standoff. Although the Golden State Warriors have yet to make a move this offseason amid Jonathan Kuminga's contract standoff, the team has prepared contingency plans. Even with Kuminga's future uncertain, the Warriors have continued conversations with free agents and are ready to act once the situation is resolved. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, Golden State intends to sign 4 players next week: Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II and Seth Curry. Horford, the most notable addition, was considered the top veteran available on the market and is expected to be signed with the mid-level exception. He would provide a steady presence at center alongside Quinton Post. Despite considering retirement, this report confirms that the 18-year NBA veteran Horford will return to action for his 19th season, with his 5th different team. Last season for the Boston Celtics, Horford averaged 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Melton and Payton II are set to return as defensive specialists, offering hustle, versatility, and bench depth. Seth Curry will also join the roster, marking the first time he will play alongside his brother Stephen Curry in the NBA. After spending last season with his hometown Charlotte Hornets, Curry is expected to serve as a perimeter scoring option off the bench. While the Kuminga negotiations have lingered, Golden State has positioned itself to strengthen its roster with proven veterans. After these 4 additions, the Warriors would have 2 open roster spots, one likely reserved for Kuminga, should he remain with the team, and another up for grabs as training camp approaches. Jonathan Kuminga's deadline is drawing near. Jonathan Kuminga entered the offseason as a restricted free agent. And now, it would appear he could enter the preseason in the same situation. The former lottery pick has held firm during negotiations with the Golden State Warriors, seeking the best possible deal in terms of both finances and career flexibility. Unfortunately for Warriors fans, Kuminga's stance has led to both sides reaching an impasse. Golden State has reportedly extended 2 solid offers in recent weeks, both of which Kuminga has rejected. Therefore, it's looking increasingly likely that he'll sign his qualifying offer and become an unrestricted free agent next summer. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, Kuminga has until October 1st to make his final decision. Kuminga has until October 1st to take the 1-year, $8 million qualifying offer that has been on the table for him since free agency began. If there is no resolution to his situation before October 1st, Stein reported on Monday, Golden State will undoubtedly be reluctant to see Kuminga sign his qualifying offer. However, unless it makes some concessions on its current contract offer, such as adding a player option, it's unlikely it will find a resolution that suits both parties. Golden State Warriors could be short-handed to start training camp. Golden State currently has 9 players under contract for next season. The front office has been holding off on adding new talent until Kuminga's situation is resolved. That way, it will have a full understanding of its cap situation before committing to additional contracts. Given Kuminga's deadline is a few days after the start of NBA training camp, which begins on September 29, there's a chance Steve Kerr will be working with a reduced group for the first few days. Golden State might have to go through a day or two of practices without the likes of Horford, Melton, and Payton as well as Kuminga himself, Stein reported. The Warriors are among the 25 teams league-wide that will hold their media day next Monday, September 29, and then practice for the first time on the following day. Golden State Warriors should accept defeat. The Kuminga saga has dragged on for months. At this point, the Warriors should accept that his future lies elsewhere and begin exploring his trade value around the NBA. It makes no sense to run the risk of him leaving next summer with nothing coming back in return. Furthermore, the Warriors' ability to obtain fair value in an in-season trade will be significantly reduced if Kuminga is on an expiring contract. Kuminga has reportedly drawn interest from multiple teams this summer. Sounding them out over a potential trade is the best path forward, especially if a comparable talent is heading the other way as part of the trade. Golden State has been passive this summer. Now, the front office must take control and position the team for success. Currently, the uncertainty can't be good for fostering a championship mindset.